This is by far one of the most important decision, if not the most important decision you need to make in the game. And you need to make sure you get it right the first time, because this can determine if you're going to enjoy the game or you're going to struggle with the game. So today I want to talk about what is the best class depending on what type of playstyle you want to play in the game, and give you guys a better idea of why this game is very different than other RPGs that you played. Because unlike other RPGs, this game, Dragon Dogma 2, it follows a different formula. Usually when you play RPGs, you're able to select your character and it'll have a skill tree and you get skill points. And as you progress throughout the game, you kind of determine how you want to play the game by placing points into specific skills that are going to adjust to that playstyle. This is not like this. This is basically going to be a game where you pick a specific class, and that class is going to determine the way you play. You're not going to be able to change that via skill points. In addition to that, whenever you want to change your vocation, which is known as a class here, you will be able to change it, but it's not going to be something you're going to be able to change as soon as you log in. You're going to have to get a specific item to change that and talk to a specific vendor. In addition to that, you basically are able to pick 2 classes, which is actually something really awesome. We're going to dive in here, talk about each individual class, and then after we go through every single class, I'm going to give you guys the structure you need to pick to determine what classes pair well with each other and which one's going to fit your particular playstyle. One of the great things about the demo is the fact that your character that you create right now is able to be carried to the actual game. So this is actually very beneficial, because that way you don't have to be doing this when the game. You can just literally go in there and start playing. All right, so just keep that in mind. All right, so guys, here's where we got the character customization. So there are 2 different sets of options here. You have your arson and you have your main pawn. This is what I referred to earlier, where you have theoretically 2 classes to use. So your arson, that's going to be you, okay? That's going to be your main character. And in addition to that, your main pawn is going to be your second character that you're going to be able to play with. All right, so we're not going to go too much into the character customization, but I did want to go ahead and go over the class options. So once you guys make your character, you're going to have to go to this tab right here, which is called Vocation. This is basically your classes, and you have a set of 3 different classes to pick from. We have the fighter, the archer, the mage, and the thief. These are going to be the 4 options you have available to you guys, and it gives you guys a brief description, but I'm going to go a little bit more into detail regarding this. So the fighter basically reads, fighters battle their enemies in close quarters, wielding a sword and a shield. Their mighty attacks and counterattacks allow them to cut down the foes with ease. Vocation can be changed later. Now, it's a great thing to note that you can change your vocation later, but one thing that's super important is that I want to make sure you guys understand you're not going to be able to change it right away. So it's going to be really important that you understand this. All right, so the fighter class, guys, is able to wield a one-handed sword and a shield. This particular vocation is mostly meant for defensive play. So think of the fighter like a tank. He's able to absorb damage, dish out damage, and defend himself while getting attacked. Now, his shield is going to be playing a very vital role when playing with him, due to the fact that once you start leveling him up, you're going to be able to enhance his shield skill, which is going to offer you increased protection to not only you, but also to the players you have around you. Now, later in the video, I'm going to talk to you guys of where I personally feel the fighter class fits into, but I wanted to give you guys an overall idea. So if you're someone that likes to be in the fray of things and likes to be able to take damage and dish out damage, in addition to that, be kind of like the aggro character, the one that everybody gravitates to while your other teammates are, maybe doing magic or shooting arrows from far, this is definitely the class you want to go with. All right, so the next class we have is the archer, and it says the archers wield the bow, striking down foes from a distance. Their arrows are quick to find enemy weak points, turning the tide of battle. Now, the archer class is a very interesting class because it's kind of like a combination of 2 different classes mixed in one. Now, one thing to keep in mind about the archer based on playstyle, this is not the character you're going to want to go and fight in up close. You're going to want to make sure you position yourself before you engage the fight. And one great thing about the archer is that his defense is not that great, but his mobility is actually really, really good. Therefore, he is going to be a little bit more nimble, but he's going to be able to move swiftly across the battlefield to be able to reposition himself to attack from range. Of course, the main thing when it comes to the archer is definitely position before you actually do a strike. Now, One great thing to keep in mind is don't think you're going to be doing a lot of damage with just one bow and arrow. You're actually going to have to do multiple arrows, and this is where the leveling system of the archer comes into play, due to the fact that as you level him up, you're going to unlock skills that are going to allow you to shoot arrows more quickly to be able to do consecutive shots. In addition to that, you will be able to have another skill that you're going to be able to unlock that's going to allow you to shoot multiple arrows at once. Another great improvement that you're able to do as you level up with the archer is improving his mobility, allowing you to be able to designate different areas around the map to be able to attack from, shoot, and then reposition yourself and get a better advantage. Now, the archer provides a very interesting playstyle, and I personally think it's going to be highly dependent on positioning and being able to know what pawn to pick to get the most of the archer. Definitely, I see like this is going to have a lot of a skill gap on this one. So this is going to be a very interesting class to, kind of tinker around with. All right, next up we have the Mage, and it says mages use their staves to cast a variety of spells. Their command of enchantments and curatively magics makes them a helpful addition to any party. Now, in the sense when you read this, you kind of feel like the Mage is a little bit underpowered, but don't fear, guys, because the Mage is actually pretty OP. So, based on playstyles, guys, this is going to be very similar to what we just previously discussed about the archer. The Mage is going to be not your type of character that you want to go ahead and go in there and get, into the nitty gritty. You're going to want to make sure that you're casting your spells from a distance. So you're not going to be up close and personal, but you're going to be doing a lot of really important stuff. Because the magic he has is not only offensive, but it's also defensive as well. And it's a huge integral part of you being able to survive within a party because of the way it is completely set up. Now, in the first Dragon Dogma, only vocations using a staff can access a single healing spell. This made mages an incredible viable addition to any party as a starting vocation and also as an available pawn. Now, currently right now, it remains to be seen if this is going to be playing such a vital role in Dragon's Dogma 2, because in Dragon Dogma 1, it was actually pretty good. Now, one thing to note is out of all the classes, the Mage is the one that's weakest against melee attacks. So once again, positioning and picking the right pawn is going to be crucial to any Mage. One upside when it comes to playing a Mage is being able to know that if you keep your distance, your offensive skills are going to be very powerful. Now, this gives it major flexibility because not only is his offensive skills really powerful, but his defensive skills are also powerful as well. And being able to determine what spells to cast, when to cast them, I believe this is going to have one of the highest learning curves out of all the other classes. And I would definitely not suggest, if you're starting, this is the first time you play Dragon Dogma, to start off with a Mage. This is definitely one that you're going to want to make sure you learn first and then start using it, due to the fact that usually mages, when it comes to RPGs, have a high learning curve, but once you master them, they're extremely powerful and a must-have in any party. Alright, so the next class we have is the Thief. It says thieves appear as a flash of daggers on the battlefield. Too quick for the eye, their speed and agility allow them to break through the enemy's guard with ease. Now, one thing to keep in mind, guys, he is going to be a little bit squishy, but he's going to be making up with that squishiness by being fast, being agile, and being able to land a lot of consecutive hits. Now, he's not going to be a class that you're going to do a lot of damage with that first initial hit. He's going to be able to do a lot of damage with those consecutive hits, as he is doing a lot of really cool stuff. As you level him up, you're going to unlock more damage for his melee weapon, and you're also going to unlock more mobility. Now, one interesting skill that he has is the cloak ability, being able to become invisible. And this skill is going to be extremely important because out of all the classes currently in the game, he's the one that's going to be able to climb on the enemy faster and without being noticed to do critical damage to the enemy. So I think the Thief is going to be one of those classes that everybody's going to pick. It's going to be like the main class I think a lot of people are going to go with. But I think it's going to have a little bit of a learning curve to be able to know how fast you're able to do the damage and how fast you have to dip out of the action. So these are the 4 classes you're able to pick from the start. Now, granted, from these classes, there's advanced vocations and there are going to be hybrid vocations that you're going to be able to unlock throughout the game. But this is going to be your starting point. And now is the time we need to talk about what 2 classes pair very well with each other, because you're going to want to know what's going to be your main class and what's going to be your pawn class, because you theoretically are able to pick 2 right off the go. So I personally feel, guys, if you guys are a mage and you are a archer, the class that's going to be perfect for your pawn is going to be the fighter, due to the fact that he's going to be able to do a lot of aggro, allowing you to keep your distance and being able to do the casting and doing the arrow throwing from a distance while the fighter is aggroing the boss. I think a perfect combination between the fighter and the mage is going to be a very nice combo, and I think a lot of people are going to go with this particular combo where people will pick the mage as their main character and pick the fighter as their pawn. Now, if you guys are picking a fighter as your main character, then what other character would be really good for this combo? I'm definitely going to have to say reverse it, which is going to be the mage, due to the fact that the mage is able to heal you with magic. I think since you're going to be up close in the fight, you're going to want to make sure you get those healies. So I think mage fighter combo works perfectly, or fighter mage combo works really ideal. All right, so if you're going to be maining a thief, who is going to be your best pawn to pick? Definitely not a fighter, because he's going to be aggroing people, and as you're going in there and getting those hits, he's going to be aggroed, so you're going to get hit. Basically, guys, if you're going to go thief, once again, I think the mage is the one you want to go with here, so he can heal you as you're doing those consecutive hits. I think that's going to be the best combo. Now, the tricky one is going to be the archer. If you plan on maining the archer, you're going to have to go with a fighter, but what archer could fit good as a pawn? And this is going to be pretty crazy, because I think personally 2 characters are going to fit the archer very well. Not only is the thief going to fit him really well, because the thief could go ahead and aggro while the archer is getting good damage, and also the mage. I think the mage is going to be kind of like that class that fits well with everybody, and being able to combo these together is going to be a crucial role. Now, which character are you guys going to be picking? Who is going to be your main character, guys? Is it going to be the fighter, the mage, the thief, or the archer? Let me know in the comment section down below. Now, if you still want to know a little bit more about Dragon Dogma 2, highly recommend you check out this video, guys. It goes over every single detail you need to know about the game before you purchase it, so make sure you check that out. Now, we will have more in-depth guides of each individual character, drilling down their skills, their attributes, and all the stuff that comes with it. So make sure you guys keep it locked in this channel for more Dragon Dogma 2 content. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.